Hi, it's Sarah here from Crafting and Stamping, and I'm back with another quick tip. And my tip today is about reusing a design and just changing it for what materials you've got. And I'm going to give a little bit about my thought process here in the hopes that maybe it will help you. Hopefully it'll give you a little spark of inspiration that you can take off in your own direction. So the way that I came about this was I'm this week using these enamel sticker icons on my projects. This is my pick of the week. And so I decided that I was going to use one of these as basically the starting point for my card. It doesn't mean to say that it's going to be the main element, it's just a starting point. And so I thought, okay, so what is it about this? Well, it's a circle. So I actually went to my pens. Hopefully you can see this. There's a bit of reflection, but hopefully we can manage okay. And I just went to my pens because I know that I've got pens that will work, but obviously you can go to my pens, anybody else's pens, your own pens. And it sort of gave me a few ideas of some circle designs that I've used previously. So, you know, we could use something like this. But in actual fact, what I'm going to do is use this as the basis for my card today. So I'm going to pick out some circles. And that is actually what I've done. I got my circle dies. These are nesting dies that will fit together quite nicely. So these are what I'm going to be using. I've already done a little bit of the prep because I wanted to be able to talk you through the various pieces that I'm using. So I've already created a few of these with the dies. So for this, I'm using this Specialty DSP. He's the man, I think it is. And I've already pressed out a few of these elements. So we've got the tree, because I'm going to use the trees here. And I pressed it. I also went with the with you, I'm never lost. And this is going to be my sentiment on this card. So then I decided, right, well, for the tree, I want a background for it. So I used one of the circle dies to die cut from the soft succulent, and then the tree's just going to go on the top of there. And then I used another die to cut out some more trees. We're using the trees as our main theme. And because I thought this was probably going to be a tiny bit on the small side, I die cut the small circle from some more soft succulent, and so I'm going to pop this onto there. So let me pop this together. This is some more of that pattern, some more of the pack, should I say, of the same specialty paper. But I just want a neutral pattern for the background, something that's not going to take away from the content of these circles. I'm using basic black as my card base, and let me just show you how this kind of comes together. So I like to just get an idea of how I'm going to lay these out. And if you get your dies, you can just test it a little bit and see where you want things to lay. So that's kind of the layout that I'm looking for, which was the one here. And I just wanted to give another idea that you could use very similar. So I've used these circle dies. If you don't have circle dies, if you don't have any dies, you could do this with squares. And even better, you could turn those squares to make them diamonds. And that would give you a different look again. But these beautiful shapes dies, in the same sort of way, could work. You could use, for your smallest one, you could die cut out one of these solids here, and then you can use the different sizes of hexagons here, so that you would have something very similar. And as like I say, it would just, I'll use this one, but this is 2 halves put together, but it just is about the same size as the smaller one. And it just gives you an idea of what that could look like. So this is a great layout that I'm reusing and can reuse in multiple ways. So hopefully this is giving you some idea. And now I'm just going to pop this one together. So I'm going to adhere my tree, and it is going to overhang this circle just a little, and I'm fine with that. If you wanted to, you could trim it so that it fits inside the circle, but I'm really not worried about a little bit of overhang. So I'm now going to pop this up on some dimensionals, and I can find, here we go. So I'll just pop some dimensionals on the back here. And if you wanted to, you could back that label, this one that we've pressed out, onto some card to make it a little bit more robust, but I don't think it's altogether necessary in this case. So I'm just going to lay this to double check how I want it, because I want these to just overlap a tiny bit. So I think that's going to be fine. And I'm going to use a 3 dimensionals again. This is just paper, so it's not so strong as that little tree that I've got up there. So I'm going to just tuck that under, and I'll have that there like that. And then I just need to be a little bit careful that I don't go with my too close to the edges with these dimensionals, because I'm going to pop it over the top of these. So if there's a dimensional in the way, we're going to end up with too much depth to it. So I'm going, like I say, I'm going to overlap just a little like that, and then I need to make sure that I've got it straight, got the wording straight. That looks about right. And then for my final one, I'm bringing in the enamel sticker, and again I just need to stand over the top so that I can see that I get this central. And I'll probably just go with a single one on here. And again, I'm just going to overlap that a teeny bit and make sure those are the right way up. So there we go. And like I say, this is reusing this design here. So I think you can see how this has come together, how you can reuse it. And like I say, feel free to swap shapes. And if you don't have dies, as I say, go with squares. And for a bit more interest, just turn them into a diamond rather than a square. It just gives the card a little bit more dynamism. So I hope that this helps. Please subscribe to my channel below to see a quick tip every Friday and a quick card every Monday. Thanks for stopping by.